Who's actually going to get the most out of a three-wheel electric scooter that claims to handle up and down hills, carry a full grocery load and still feel comfortable for an hour-plus ride? Who should walk away from this one, and does the price make sense for a typical buyer who just wants a reliable way to get around the neighborhood or a local park? Those are the questions that keep most of us up at night before we click add to cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking at the Rascal Conquest, I was immediately reminded of the old dilemma: you either buy a tiny foldable scooter that folds like a pancake and hope it can handle a moderate slope, or you shell out for a heavy-duty three-wheel model that feels more like a small golf cart. The Conquest sits firmly in the latter camp, and that decision changes everything about who it's for. If you're a senior who needs a real mobility device to navigate sidewalks, community centers, and maybe a bit of light trail, the three-wheel layout gives you a stability advantage that two wheels simply can't match. The FDA Class II medical device designation also tells you that the company has taken the regulatory step to certify it for people with mobility impairments, which is not something you see on a casual weekend rider scooter. On the flip side, if you're a college student looking for a cheap campus commute or a hobbyist who just wants a portable fun ride, you'll probably find the Conquest a bit too bulky and pricey. Its 350-pound capacity, while generous, also means the chassis and battery are built for heavy loads. Good news for someone who wants to haul a cooler, a dog crate, or a shopping bag, but a downside if you never intend to push the weight limit. The scooter's frame is sturdy, but that sturdiness translates into a weight of around 150 pounds for the unit itself. That isn't a pick-you-pan-go scenario. You'll need a vehicle or at least a ramp to get it into your garage. Let's talk about the battery, because that's often the make-or-break factor for any electric mobility aid. Rascal ships the Conquest with a lithium-ion pack that's already installed, promising a long-range claim of roughly 20 miles on a single charge. In real-world tests, that figure holds up on flat suburban streets, especially if you keep the speed at the modest 6 miles per hour setting. Once you start tackling a hill or two, the range drops to something closer to 1,215 miles before the indicator warns you. For most daily errands, grocery run, medical appointments, a quick trip to the park, this is more than sufficient, but you shouldn't expect to drive it from one side of town to the other without a recharge stop. The included charger takes about 6 hours to fill the pack from empty, which means you'll likely want to keep it plugged in overnight if you rely on it for morning mobility. The seat swivels, which is a surprisingly useful feature if you ever need to turn around in a tight spot. Imagine pulling up to a curb, needing to reverse direction without stepping off. Just rotate the seat, press reverse, and the three-wheel platform does a smooth pivot. That design also contributes to the maximum visibility claim. The rider sits high enough to see traffic, yet the low-profile chassis keeps the center of gravity down, reducing the chance of tipping on uneven pavement. In practice, the visibility advantage becomes most evident on busy streets where you need to make eye contact with drivers. The seat's adjustability lets you raise or lower the backrest, accommodating users who need more lumbar support versus those who just want a quick, upright perch. Now, the practical weaknesses. The first is the lack of a removable battery. Some competitors let you swap out a depleted pack for a fresh one, effectively doubling your range on a single day. With the Conquest, the battery is hardwired, so you're stuck with the single charge limitation. The second is the noise level. While it's not a roar like a gasoline mower, the motor hum can be audible up to 15 feet away, which might be a concern if you plan to use it in quiet neighborhoods or near patients who are sensitive to background noise. Finally, the ride comfort on rough surfaces is only so good. The three wheels are spaced widely for stability, but the suspension is limited to a simple shock absorber under the seat. If you live in an area with cracked sidewalks or pothole-laden streets, the scooter will transmit more vibration than a full suspension model would. You can mitigate this by sticking to smoother paths or adding aftermarket cushioning pads, but that adds extra cost and effort. Who should buy it? Think of the segment that values reliability over portability: seniors who need a legal medical device classification, people with limited walking ability who require a durable platform, and families who want a way to transport a wheelchair-bound relative around a large property or community center. For these users, the combination of 350 pounds capacity, stable three-wheel geometry, and the FDA Class II designation provides peace of mind that cheaper two-wheel options.